All right, so back to me. Before we start, hey Siri, set a 7-minute timer. Okay, great. So my name is Leila Banijamali. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of Symbium. Symbium just launched out of Stanford AI Lab 2 years ago. And we are the computational law company. So what is computational law? All it means is we take laws and regulations and we build really intuitive web applications out of them so people can interact with laws in a better way. And an example of a Complaw system that you're familiar with is TurboTax. They take the IRS tax code and they build it right into the workflow. So as you type, you get instant feedback on your tax obligations without having to manually reference the code. So we build systems like that. The difference is it may have taken Intuit 6 months to a year to build all of TurboTax. We can build it on our platform in just 3 days with one developer. So let me paint the problem picture for you. We're not in tax. We're in the planning departments. That's where we're starting first. So let's say I want to open a restaurant. I devise a concept. I find the space. Easy enough, right? Wrong. From the moment I choose a location to set up the business, prepare the space, I'm subject to a myriad of regulations, and this is an iterative process over a long period of time. So let's say I submit my permit to the planning department, and I say that I'm told that my restaurant can't be on the second floor, or it's part of a chain, so that it's subject to a myriad of other rules. So this is actually a bottleneck. The number one bottleneck is the rules and regulations in all planning departments across the country. In fact, the Federal Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs did a study to learn that 111 billion forms were submitted last year at a cost to the public of $116 billion, and that cost is calculated against the complexities of the regulations and the time it took to complete this process. So even after this restaurant is set up, you can see after the opening at the bottom right there, I'm still subject to these regulations. And this is true even when you're setting up, let's say when you're building a house, for example. And so the application we did was basically this. We're launching this redesigned version. It's live now, but redesigned in March 1st. So you're actually the first to see this. What you do is you type in your address, your single-family home property address on the top of the screen. And it's available at build.symbium.com. And then it pulls up a property parcel showing you the outline of the structures actually on your parcel. You can see a satellite view of it if you want as well. You can turn that on. And then you can actually draw in, for example, your accessory dwelling unit, your second unit, whatever you want to do on your property. And it'll give you instant feedback what the development standards are, meaning how far does it have to be back from the setbacks, how big can it be, how tall can it be, all of those things that you'd have to talk to an architect about. So that's a parcel-by-parcel search. On March 1st, we're also launching this. And this Build Plus is basically going to allow you to do the same thing on a citywide basis. So show me all of the parcels in Salt Lake City where I can build a 500-square-foot second unit on my property that is not in a historic district and is within a half a mile of transit. The other thing it can do is you can ask it, show me the economic impact. No one does this. The economic impact of the new regulations which are about to go into effect next month on this entire region. And there it is. So we have this platform. We can build pretty much whatever we want in any vertical we want. So where do we start? We decided to start in the largest industry on the planet, and that's government. Government spending takes account of 1/3 of the global GDP, and it's a $3.5 trillion industry. This is the competitive landscape we're in, not so competitive for us. On the far left, we've got TurboTax at the high end. They can handle regulation complexity, but they only do tax, and that's all they'll ever do. That's why they're called TurboTax. And then on the bottom, you've got OpenCounter Excel. They do some regulations, but nowhere near as complex as where they need to be. Google Forms and Seamless Docs, those are workflow solutions, 0 regulations embedded in them. And then we have Symbium, rapid component-based development. And because we can build it so quickly with very little infrastructure, we can charge really whatever we want for it. So total addressable market, this is going to be all building permit revenue is $170 billion in the US right now. If we do 2.5% convenience fee, just like credit card, Visa company charges 2.5%. For using Visa, we would do $4.25 billion, and then serviceable addressable, which is 10% of that, $425 million. These are some of our current partners. We got the largest cities in California, our customers right now: San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Jose. We just started signing on developers. We did 5 developer sign-ons in the last month. 2 of them are here, Vive and Abodu. They're helping with accelerating affordable housing in California, which is a very, very big deal for us. I think it's a big deal everywhere. I think you would agree with that. Business model, we have a very low barrier to entry, which is very, very important for government because we can actually slide right under the procurement thresholds. And no other company can do that that has the capabilities that we have. And then the other thing we have, which is really unique for us, is we have a land and expand SaaS revenue model. So we're basically partnering with cities. We're going to activate each one on our map, just like we're going to be the Google Maps for planning. And then from there, we're going to add other modules onto it as well. So permitting, adding other departments, so on and so forth. This is our team. I was an enterprise licensing lawyer for many years. Did a lot of Salesforce deals, over $200 million worth. And my co-founder, Abhijit, just got his PhD at Stanford in CS. And our professor, Michael Janazarith, this is his second company, and he's the guy that basically is like the brainchild of logic programming, which is what we're doing to create these solutions. So we actually have bad news for you. We already closed our round. So we raised over $4 million. Thank you. Thank you. We raised over $4 million just last year. It was our first round from Hummer Winblad, who's very well known in Silicon Valley, and Stanford University was the other investor. If you're interested, just keep in touch with me. I'm easy to get a hold of. There's my email right there. I'll be walking around a little bit afterwards. Actually, Hummer Winblad is doing a major event up in Snowbird, so I'm going to go run there, but I'll hang out for a couple hours. And what we do want is introductions to cities. And I'm actually very, very interested in grant funding to accelerate affordable housing development so we can activate the jurisdictions that matter to nonprofits who are in the housing space. Oh, there goes Siri. My time's up. Thank you very much, everyone.